Okay.
So you're gonna address the latrine facilities.
I'm gonna combine that together with C, and
Yeah.
we're gonna kind of just make that
Okay.
better all the way around.
I forget that. So
A is gonna have 2 sections as well. I'm just rounding myself.
Okay.
Now, are you into section 4 yet?
I'm in 4. Yep. I'm tearing it apart already.
Good, because that's where I was trying to get you.
Good luck trying to make a move for him. Right?
That's what I was thinking exactly.
No. Okay, but we want this as a packet, 30 days ahead of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But section 4 is kind of leaving it open prior to the issuance of the license and the holding of the event. I mean, it's not really
Okay,
clear.
so we'll just
We
put,
want to make sure that's in there.
says with,
Because you're going to have to train people, basically, to come in here 45 days, 60 days before their event, to get the application, to make sure everything's put together,
Right.
to hand it to us 30 days ahead.
30 days ahead of time.
So somewhere maybe we should address that a minimum of 45 days before the event or something like that, come in and get the
It is
application.
suggested
Yeah.
that a
That's a good
minimum
one,
of
yeah.
45 days
Is that in
before
here?
the
Did I miss
event.
it?
No, I can
Okay.
put that.
I would put that in
Yeah.
there. Yep.
I just asked another question too. Is this for like any like a family gathering, or is this only for
250.
something? Well, the reason I'm asking, Ben, is because my late husband was very popular, and when I had his funeral, I wound up, I'm going to tell you honestly, with well over 500 people in my yard having a barbecue after his funeral. So, in the
Tough.
case of
Yeah.
that, I'm not coming 45 days prior. And I mean, I had literally
You can't
3 days
control when
notice.
somebody dies.
Exactly. So, what I'm asking is, could there be a paragraph in there for under hardship
The
circumstances?
board may waive the
The board
requirement.
may waive the requirement, just to leave it open, because honestly,
good point.
you know, because I would have been in trouble if I had to come in 45 days. My husband would have been laying in that funeral home for quite some time, you
I
know.
don't think I want to be the town official who walks in on a wake.
Yeah, no, me either.
And say, you can't do
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
Well, what a position to be put in.
Hmm.
I'll add waiver clause here, and I will. I know that those exist, so.
Yeah, maybe it could be a paper that, you know, as part of the funeral process, if you're going to have people back to you, you could come in and just say, hey, this is a funeral, or
Right,
this
as
is a
soon as-
memorial, or, you know.
You know, as soon,
Yeah, write it up as an exception.
sort of as you know, waiver clause.
Maybe you could give that waiver form to like some of the local, you know, like funeral parlors, so that if they know they're going to invite people back to their house, the funeral parlor can say, hey, that, you know, this has to be. I mean, just because people aren't really thinking of coming to the
No,
town
at
hall
that
and filling
moment.
that out at that time.
Yeah, but I don't think you're gonna be rattling people's windows either.
Correct.
You didn't know my husband's family. I hate to tell you, but.
Depends on how long the wake goes on.
Exactly. Irish.
No, I almost can put this up there.
What's that?
This part. I almost can put up with where I'm combining B and C in section 3. That half line here.
Shall furnish
furnish
the
a
plan showing the site and location of the
I feel like I can put that up
location of the
here.
toilet and washing facilities. This describes them. This is saying the size of the lot and where they're being placed.
I know, I can put this line up with this stuff, I mean, you know what I mean, it all goes together, it's all in one packet, so I might as well list it as it,
A, at the bottom, 4A, the last sentence.
yes.
Explain that to me.
I have that highlighted, I want you to explain it to me. I just want to know what you require for the insurance as selectmen, what the board would require for an amount of liability insurance, or
Have to look into that one.
what is sufficient.
Because they're on their own private property, so we'd want a copy of that. Their homeowner's policy, I would assume. They're on somebody's property,
Right.
as you've already identified, may not be their own.
But aren't they getting
And then it's a rider.
a separate bond?
Should be a rider.
Bond, therefore,
Bond.
just in case they damage the road or whatever. That's what that public is what I'm reading out of that.
I thought
Right,
she had,
and
I
I
thought she had liability.
Or bond from a company ensuring that after the event, the grounds will be cleaned of waste, all waste, which we can put in what we had discussed about waste previously. You suggested,
And shall be responsible. Whoever is holding this thing.
I gave you a
Right.
copy of the mass
Should be
gathering, right?
responsible.
Proposals.
for all-
I think I
for
gave you
all
a copy
costs.
of the mass gathering proposal.
And
Yeah.
and returning the grounds to whatever they were. In other
clean,
words, if it was clean, it should be left clean when they go. Or the day after.
well, because like you had mentioned, people are
So by-
gathering all of this trash and then going to the transfer station. This would basically,
What if they left it there?
if they left it there,
Yeah.
this bond or liability insurance would cover that cost of
The
cleanup.
bond would, yeah.
Mm.
Naming
So-
the town, that's the other part you want to put on there, naming the town.
Yeah.
And
How do we?
that damages to public property in the area arising out of or in connection with the event will be paid. So if someone,
On insurance,
Leaves
it's an
that
amount of
festival.
$100 for each 100
Somebody
persons.
burns a
That doesn't
vehicle
sound-
and takes out a
I was just
section
gonna
of road.
ask,
Right.
how are we putting
You know,
a dollar
happens.
amount to that?
Yeah.
that's what I was wondering.
We can't.
$100 per
That's why I
100.
have it
We-
highlighted.
The insurance
Well, you don't,
company would
I
be
do.
dictating that amount,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're in charge of getting their own liability. Now, asking for a bond through the town, is that why we're asking $100?
No, they're not getting anything through us.
I would ask your legal team how much they suggest liability insurance.
Well,
It
yeah,
needs,
but,
they can't just produce, oh yeah, I got a really good rate. It needs to cover the
it's not
cost.
the flow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't know what, I don't wanna, maybe we could just state,
Did you get copies of all the mass gathering proposals too? I knew I'd made copies for Mike or given you the file, I think, to make copies, but
Yeah,
did you need to probably see all that?
possibly, I don't,
Because I know one of them, the reason I asked, I know one of it addressed this same issue,
It
cleaning
did?
up afterwards and everything, yeah. I'll dig it out, it's in my truck, I think. Nope, it's in here. Let me throw it in here. I think everything's in there right now. Maybe it's in here, doesn't seem like it. Oh, must be still in my truck, I have two files.
this.
We'll see if I can dig it out, we'll see what they were suggesting in there.
Or if you're working on a fee schedule, maybe you should have that those fees would change, once a year that they
Well,
would
that's
be.
what I was thinking. Perhaps I shouldn't put a monetary amount to it. Perhaps we should put a sentence that reads something similar to like I had in the fee schedule, something that says it will
Responsible.
cover the cost
It's
of
gonna be
Right.
tough because,
Yeah.
yeah,
Responsible for any and all cleanup.
and the cost of
Somebody,
repairs.
you better name somebody that'll be responsible for that.
you got 250 people there, okay, for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Versus, like you said, 750 people there
For
for
4
4
hours.
hours.
It's
There's a
totally
big
different.
difference.
Yeah, you need to be able to cover that whole thing, no matter what happens. If somebody gets a big crowd and they continue the event, whatever it is, so that we don't get stuck with a big mess from it. In other words, no matter what size the thing becomes,
Well,
person that's putting this on is gonna be responsible,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and
ultimately,
the only one that's gonna be holding the bag though wouldn't be the town, it would be the property owner.
right. And as far as the transfer
Unless
station goes,
there was
as far as the
damage to
transfer
public
station
property.
goes,
Right.
Well, you can put that word in there,
As a result.
those words in there all you want, but unless as a board you're gonna be willing to pay your legal team to take somebody to court to recover that, which traditionally this board has not ever followed through with that type of thing. So, I mean, unless you're gonna do that, you have to
How
have
do you
some
figure
kind
that?
of, well, because there's all these people, I mean, we just had an issue, Mike was in here the other day with some guy, and this guy was there, and he was saying like it had been, what, 2 years, was he saying?
Yeah, no,
Remember the
because
fellow with the
we-
trash?
Yeah, we explained that,
Oh,
because we
yeah.
had a transition to code.
But-
That's,
We're gonna be
that's
talking
been
about
in
that,
court,
too.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's been
so,
going on. No, there's
I
a lot
mean-
more going on.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean this board, like, as in you three, because I know
No,
you've
it's-
only
there's
been
a lot
together.
going on, and
But,
That took
you know,
more
you,
it
That
would be
took-
pursued,
Took more than a year to make that file.
yeah. Exactly.
well, it would be pursued as long as you were sitting. But if it was,
Well, yes and no. You got responsibility on the code enforcement officer that he's dictated by law what has to be done and followed through on. We are working right now as a joint effort, good communication, that kind
Right,
of thing.
right.
At some point in
And
time,
goodwill, yep.
Yeah.
Fact,
Yeah.
we're gonna discuss that later on.
at some point in time, if the board said no, don't, you know, that's my buddy, don't.
that's
we can
what
turn
I was
around and go
thinking.
past that and go to court and actually get it done
Okay, without the board's approval.
on certain items. Absolutely.
Okay, that's good to know.
There are certain things that are statutory required.
Same with the town clerk. Same with the treasurer.
Right,
Absolutely.
yep.
Your by law, we have to do certain things.
I didn't mention your name.
It's all your
There's
fault.
one treasurer, still the position.
What? What?
you snooze, you lose.
I wasn't snoozing, man.
She heard that.
Work is different though because it requires liability or a bond. So we're not saying, oh, you have to be responsible. We're saying you have to show me proof that you got coverage and will be responsible for
Yeah,
this.
you cut my road, you break my tire. You know,
It-
you're putting people in and out of
according
the
to
field.
this
You know,
binder.
you're ripping the ditch up.
Specific to the event.
Yeah,
Correct.
Specific to the event.
You ripped down my public building that was sitting next door.
Yes, and it does say public property in the area arising out of or in connection with the event.
Really?
So we're gonna. I put 2 asterisks. I don't have an answer for you. I'll have to look into it deeper.
Or one of your drunk buddies falls on my fence and breaks it. You know,
You know my buddies?
I do.
It's the gas instead of brake in most of the buildings.
Like Dunkin' Donuts in Bedford. What was up
Yeah.
with that?
Just recently.
I've been meeting more and more of those
About
Milton
5
guys.
minutes before- We have about 5 minutes before our next one. So.
Okay, so that
Uh,
plan I'm gonna move up with B because it kind of goes up there. It's gonna be the same line. I'm just gonna put it up there.
5, section 5.
So that's the violations.
I think the max we can do anyway is 100, right? Or does home rule prevail? I don't know. I'd have to look at that. Probably can put anything we. Well, wait a minute. Look at our littering signs out here. You know, thou shalt not litter. $500 fine. You know, where do you find your trash? It's at the bottom of every signpost.
$100 per day for each
I
infraction.
guess you can do whatever you want.
I've seen 500 for each
Well,
infraction.
the truth of the matter is, it probably should be because posted to 5. Because if you think about all the worst case scenarios we just talked about, you know,
It's gonna be
trash just
over
sitting
that.
over
I mean,
there.
it would be cheaper to take the fine if we didn't up it.
no, $500 says they're gonna clean it up right away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
$100 or whatever.
Yeah, $100.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then they get it back when it's clean.
Yeah.
And then I added an asterisk on mine for a waiver clause, as she suggested. So I'll put, 5A and 5B.
Yeah, but what she just mentioned, you're not talking about a deposit. Get it back when it's clean. That's a deposit.
No, that ends up being a fine.
This is a
Right,
fine.
That says, that means that's,
So I didn't
goes,
see anything
yeah,
about
goes into
deposit.
the general fund.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is not, that's not a bond or anything, that would be a bond.
Oh, that's
This-
what I was
this
thinking. You were
says-
talking about a bond.
Yeah.
You put down $500, and when it's inspected and it's
No,
clean,
But
you
that's
get
with
it
an
back.
outside company.
Right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, we are not a bank or a bond company. We're not doing that. You,
That
you get a
says,
bond from
I'm
somebody
gonna
else.
clean up, I'm gonna do it right away, that's what that
Okay.
says.
Yeah, this is a violation. If you violate this,
Yeah,
it's $500 per day. or
500.
per infraction.
You don't care.
And shall be personally responsible for damage to public or private property arising out of or in connection therewith.
The important word,
Mhm.
And
Yep.
yeah.
Mm.
so that can become quite costly. You might just want
I
to.
think you just cut the parties in Lebanon by half. I just have to say nobody's going to be able to afford to have it.
If they follow the rules, they got nothing to worry.
Right. So when do you want my revised copy?
We still got
In my, you know, yeah, you
Still
still
got
got time.
3 minutes.
Get it done. We're coming in Tuesday for an executive session, so I mean, if you throw it in the box, we'll have a copy of it, so we can check it
Okay.
over. If you wanna sit down and talk about it again, we'll have to look at the schedule and, I mean, it needs to be done, we need to get a ballot
Yeah,
together.
we should
It does
go
need
over
to be
it.
done.
Make sure everybody's in agreement with what's going on and what we're doing.
But as far as the amendments go, we're feeling okay with those.
So far.
Royce, you have one of these, so if you read over something and just drop it in my.
I could always get you to give me another one if I need it,
Yes, you can.
'cause I can't remember
Okay,
where I
so
put it.
Tuesday. Boy, you guys are giving me a lot of time.
Okay, we got 5 minutes, right?
You have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
This is a copy of an electrical. I'm sorry we took up all your time, but that's for you.
Thanks.
Okay. How about this?
Ordinances.
Okay.
Planning Board has 3 issues. I think Roxanne sent you a note requesting legal advice on it, and you forwarded that. We skipped that for the last town meeting. We were working on 2 of them with Brian,
Okay.
and 1 within the Planning Board that's shoreline zoning related. But feedback from Brian was that everything was overwhelmed and there just wasn't gonna be time to get them legally vetted.
Okay.
They're problematic, they're recurring problems for us. 1 is in the shoreline zone ordinance itself, and 2 are in the string of ordinances that in some places are called the zoning ordinance and some places called the lot ordinance. Usually those would only be a problem for the CEO, and Brian asked us to work on those 2 specifically, and that got lost in the shuffle, but in doing it, we would recommend they're worth thinking about. And the issue with the conflict between the map and the text of the shoreline zoning ordinance,
Yeah, I remember something about that.
that's just a recurring problem, and we have a very simple recommendation on that that was arrived at many meetings and workshops and legal advice from prior town attorneys. Roxanne and I have been waiting to submit a request on that legal information, and
I haven't heard back from the attorneys yet, but I'm looking.
you
I know
know,
I forwarded it, but I haven't heard from them.
it's what constitutes a road is not legally spelled out, and the lot ordinance requires 200 feet on a road. We've worked at all levels of research, so basically that's a meaningless clause.
Well, we've run across some even just as I'm going through assessing
Yep.
that I would fight if it was me. I don't own the property, but I'm just saying I would come and fight the town all day long on some of our waterfront ones. You know, have somebody that owns 567 feet on the water.
Yeah.
My standard lot's 100 foot.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a 2 acre. I'd come after you all day long.
Yeah.
And so that's something that doesn't make sense the way things are written. You know, because it makes smarter sense for the town to be able to hit 5 buildable lots that are consistent with what's out there, you know, than to say, nope, sorry, you got 2.1 acres, you can only put 1 house on there. You know, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So there's some things we definitely need to look at.
That's a
As
whole
far as
other
the
layer
lot,
of
as far as-
consideration, and
Yep.
that
Lot
might be another
ordinance.
one of those ones that's gonna need a comprehensive plan to sort as a basis.
Yeah.
So there was the definition of a road.
Yeah.
The clarification on what we call grandfathered non-conforming lots. Your board has requested, for instance, that we use Maine Municipal for whenever we can for information, and the only thing I could find on that was an article from them saying that if there is no language in the ordinance authorizing what we call grandfathering,
Right.
that there is none. That kind of surprised me. I thought there might be a state, boilerplate state law, and it says no. And that has been an ongoing case-by-case problem in town, and it hasn't been consistent. Whether or not building permits are issued on these lots, it seems it's just been totally arbitrary. We don't have that language in any of those ordinances. And that presents also a challenge for the town, because then you get into the whole issue of, does that constitute a taking that the town is then liable for cash damages for? So it's pretty complex, and that's gonna need to be, should be addressed one way or the other, because sooner or later somebody's gonna holler on that. Now, why is the plan, those two, they're general ordinances, they're not, we're only really chartered for the shoreline zoning and the subdivision ordinance, but in both of those, we have to consider the general lot ordinances that's included. For instance, when we work a shoreline zone review, the owner also has to comply with the general ordinances, and then the shoreline is usually stricter. But very often, we're dealing with subsidized lots, non-standard lots. I just looked it up in here, and I found it in there, an article in a court note from Wells from the 80s that says loss of value doesn't guarantee the person has a right to build on a lot. It has to render the lot totally useless. And if it's of value to an abutting property, the town of Wells had the right to tell somebody, no, you can't build on it. And why is that important in this town with no public sewerage? You amass these septic systems, and they may each meet plumbing code, but was it Dayton? There's a couple towns in the northern part of the county that they're beginning to get groundwater plumes of effluent because there are so many septic fields in these rural areas that each one may be by the book, but cumulatively it's a damaging effect. So that's those three things.
Yeah, I got them right here. And the last thing, I did forward them to legal, and
Yeah,
the last thing
right.
Roxanne said, we would like to schedule a meeting with the selectmen to discuss these issues and mutually supportable routes to dealing with them.
Yeah.
So that hasn't happened. I haven't heard from you
That's
guys
why
at
I
all.
sat in tonight. I didn't,
Okay.
I just saw on your mailer that
Yeah.
I'm gonna be having an ordinances workshop.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'd like to tickle on that, and we can, if you want those, we can have them ready. They're all ready in paper form, but we didn't see any point in submitting them until we've gone through the legal thing and hopefully had a meeting with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same as you are with these folks. Get
Yeah.
everybody on the same page.
Yep.
So
I
I'm
will.
just throwing that out there, and
I will resend this to myself, so it's right up on the front. It was a month ago, almost a month ago.
Yeah.
And then that will remind me to call them tomorrow.
the work's all done, but we're just not comfortable recommending putting it on the ballot till it's been legally vetted, and it looks like the new law services are the people to do it too.
Yeah.
The municipal, so.
Excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but could you just, I don't know you, so I can't tell people who you were that were speaking. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm Gary Getchell, and I'm Vice Chairman of the Planning Board.
Thank you very much.
Mike, you had something you wanted to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darren.
We're losing time here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut mine short. I wanna work on one of the complaint or violations.
Yeah.
I think I briefly talked with one or two of you about this. So we have this, in fact, he was at the last meeting, remember the last meeting that I attended here, is on Hubbard Road, the trash issue, remember that? What was his name? I forget his name.
Downs.
Downs.
Yeah, Larry Downs.
Memory. So I have a proposal for the board. I've talked to these people, they haven't got any money. They haven't got any money, so nowhere's it's gonna go, nowhere. It's just sitting there festering. I don't know if this guy has any legal standing to sue the town, but in talking with the residents, and I wanna talk to you about it, in order to clean up this property one time, get this off our plate, can we offer,
Is this your landlord?
this is the landowner, this is the land, no, not landowner, this is these people own the land, Sarah Parker and Dan Parker,
Okay. Yep.
for the mess that's there now, for us to waive the fees at the landfill, or the transfer station, landfill, we don't use those words anymore, at the transfer station, and give them a time frame to clean it up, and then it's limited, after that land's cleaned up. It's just I'm gonna give them a free ticket for the rest of their life to get rid of debris and garbage. They said they have people available to pick up trucks. If I can set this up with inspections to see if they follow through on it. And I'll leave that with you fellas, because they have no money. That's the whole thing right there.
Do they own the land?
Yes.
How much is there? I mean, I've seen pictures, but you've actually seen it. I mean,
If I were to guess,
film like 40-foot open tops. Well, how much is there?
four pickup trucks filled up.
So one 40-footer,
Yeah. No,
maybe.
yeah.
A lot of it's
30-footer.
cans, from what I saw. Bottles and cans from the
It's
pictures.
debris, yeah. It's a lot. It's just a lot of debris. There's kids' toys. There's glass. There's monitors.
So they must have cleaned up some of it then already, because what Brian had showed us was
No, it looks the same. I've seen the
Yeah.
pictures too. It
Okay.
looks the same.
so.
If there's monitors
Not
from
recyclable.
televisions, then there's a cost there involved for the town with the transfer. That's $5 each.
Well, that's what he's
And
saying.
if there's any
Asking if we
refrigeration
waive the
equipment,
fees.
there's $10
Waive
each.
the fees if they clean it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes more sense to. Yeah, if they got the, yeah, I mean,
I don't know how much legal standing that other fellow, Mr. Downs, had, but he was very serious about.
he just wants cleaned up, so,
Yeah.
this is an option,
And
a
it's
viable
gone on
option.
with them for
But-
years.
I'd give a deadline on it,
Mm.
cleaned up by.
Oh yeah. No, I'll set up a program for them where they have so many days, and when it's done, and make it known.
I'd
This
rather
can't
waive the
happen again.
fees than spend it on attorneys,
That's what it comes down to.
You might wanna pick your days. If we're gonna do that and they're gonna say they decide they're gonna haul with 4 pickup trucks and do it all in one day, I think it would be very much appreciated that it didn't happen on a Saturday.
Right, during the week.
Yeah, but if they're counting on friends and relatives who may work, you might lose your 4 pickup trucks and then they're not gonna be in compliance.
Saturdays is also the busiest day of the week at the transfer station, as anybody knows.
But they're the ones with the problem. It's not, as it is, we're thinking about waiving fees. That's a great gesture, okay? For them to say, yeah, but I can only do it on Saturday, that is not acceptable.
Right.
Okay.
They're the one with the problem, not us. We're helping them.
We have many, and this time of year, just from personal.
Well, if you give them enough time
experience
as
at the
well,
transfer
that it
station.
covers 2
We
Saturdays,
will
then
fill
you're breaking up 2 pickup
45
truck loads
cans
per
on
Saturday or something,
one in the
big deal,
morning and
whatever.
again in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest,
It's not uncommon.
the dump
Yeah,
truck they
I'll
ends
give
up
them-
there
Give them
kills
30
it.
days
Can be a
and then
problem.
go
We'll be
on a
overfilled.
Saturday.
After
Well,
shut
One
that's
down.
commercial
right.
hauler with one trip fills it more than a 4 pickup truck load, so.
So the last thing I
Yeah,
want to
cleaned
talk
up.
about is, look, fellas, I know that there's no electrical permits in that room there, okay? And it's not a bad idea. It's like leaving the fox in charge of the hen house, if you will. And not saying, a tradesman, a master, is an accountable person. So you're allowing the master to be the inspector, okay? Okay. What about the homeowner who's doing it himself? I think what we should really look at, and if we do this, it has to be for everybody and not just the homeowners. It has to be an outright, we have an electrical permit that needs to be pulled, and the CO needs to inspect that. I can't tell you how many times in my career I've gone in, I can tell you right away if it's been a homeowner wire job. Okay, you pull down a box and you go, oh no. You know, I think we're doing the homeowner a favor. I don't mind that he does it, but I'm gonna go inspect and say, you know, you've done that wrong.
Yep.
It'll give them incentive to want to do it right.
Makes sense too. So like the Maine Townsman, that magazine we get, I'm not sure if you're getting one or not, but they were identifying, you know, this day and age, materials have changed. You know that very clearly.
Yep,
That-
constantly.
That there is about fire prevention, and fire prevention nowadays is about education.
Yep.
You know, more than
Exactly.
anything else, because
You take every device, even a box, you pull a box out of a wall, it can tell you, and no one even knows that.
Yep.
It tells you how many conductors can go in that box, number one. A simple staple to staple your wires, there's a certain staple if you want to double up on your wire. They don't know that.
Yep.
Anyway, I want to put that on the ballot too. We,
Nice.
We're
good
running
idea.
over our.
Yep.
our
okay,
next
I'm sorry, yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
No, that's okay.
No,
I got a
think
couple
it's
of
a good
things
idea.
in.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. I'll work with Mandy on getting the wording on it.
Yeah, let's get back within whatever. I don't know exactly what our schedule is right now,
Couple
but
weeks.
we got by what do we got next Thursday? We'll be in here for an exec on Tuesday. We got next Thursday, and then probably the following Monday, no later than that.
Okay, sure,
We should do something because you're getting late on the ballot.
okay.
Don't
I'm
get me
sure.
going.
Ben,
I
could
don't remember exactly what the date is, but we're pushing on that pretty good at that point. That's the 21st.
Okay.
Could I ask you what your executive session is on Tuesday? I don't know what your little code numbers or whatever, just
Yeah.
so that it's on record.
Personnel.
Personnel.
Thank you very much, fellas.
Thank you.
Ladies.
Thank you, sir.